Hello all, Nice Toe here, bringing you a full knife review, and I have committed a sin against you because I have not done this knife, and I just realized that. I've done the Ghoul before this one. This is the Null Knives Voodoo, and I love this knife. I really do. I want a second one of these. I want a third one of these. I want a Damascus crazy one and a second one to just beat on a little bit more, because these are just one knives that you want to carry, but I just don't want to get this thing too screwed up, so I don't carry it as much as I could, or maybe should. It's a wonderful, wonderful knife. Let's get into specs, and then we'll talk about why it's so freaking wonderful. And just, the design. Yes. People, yes. 3 5/8 on the blade length, and 3.5 on the cutting length. Blade cutting edge length. Yeah. 8.25 overall. What the hell was that? And almost, not quite, 4 3/4 on the handle. Not terrible blade to handle ratios. How's the blade to weight? How's the blade to weight ratio? Yes, I don't know what I'm doing today. Not as good. 4 ounces and 4.11 ounces. I can't talk. I'm going to slow things down and just be like, wow, yeah, fine. It's a little bit heavier than an ounce an inch, but, it's not bad. It's not unwieldy. It's not unreasonable. It's certainly not... I have pocket grunk in there. It's not ridiculous. Okay. Let's make a comparison while I figure out what the heck I'm trying to say. Not that that's going to help. Not that I'm going to be able to figure that out. Civivi Conspirator. Full-size knife. Civivi Elementum. It is bigger than both. But it still falls in the full-size length category, as far as I'm concerned. And seeing as I'm the only one here, I'm the only one that matters. Right? Because my opinion matters. Sure. Let's go with that. It is... Let's get this out of here. It's easier to see thickness comparisons on the black. It's about as thick as the Conspirator. It's not quite as tall as the Conspirator with its flipper tab, but it's a little bit taller than the Conspirator without it. Handle length comparison, I think this just helps for what you're actually gripping onto. Behind the choil to the butt of this knife, you have basically 2 AA batteries length, which, in my opinion, is more than enough for most people to get their hands on there and be comfortable. That's why I do that comparison. It is just an easy thing that anybody can figure out where this thing sits in general size. Hardware. Everything. T8. Wonderful. In fact, no, not everything T8. The thumb stud is T6. I'm not probably going to interact with the thumb stud. I imagine most people won't. Actually, how about the lock bar insert? That's T8. So, yeah, it's just the thumb stud. Looks like this... The clip is internal. No, the clip is internal. Wow, it's coming back to bite me hard today. You'd think I'd be drinking. I don't. No, that's not what's about to happen. I'm just losing my mind. The screw for the pocket clip looks like it might be a T6. I think it kind of probably is, maybe. It's very hard to tell. It's inside. I'm not going to take the whole knife apart to check it. You're probably not going to ever have to address that. I did actually have to address that because I changed these scales. to this sort of green camo carbon fiber from the original black that I had. I just got a plain version and immediately, well, I didn't regret not getting. I missed out on the launch edition Sub-Zero one that I was 100% going to get, but I was not paying enough attention, and they sold out very quickly. So, yeah, I'd love to get one. I'd love to get one of those, but unfortunately, I will make do with this one. And this one is number 680. It says it right in there. Voodoo number 680. From the first original run. There's been a couple runs of these, and there's no wonder. Who's not happy that there's been multiple runs of these? These are wonderful. I'm sure they've all sold out pretty quickly. Before we go any further, let's finish with the specs. The handle is contoured, though it's only this area that runs... it's the whole back end of the handle and this part right here. This area is chamfered, but everything else is contoured. 538 thousandths, so a bit over half an inch. Blade stock thickness at its thickest, 145 thousandths. It's actually thicker than I thought. It's almost 150 thousandths. Behind the edge on the Voodoo. Mine has not been sharpened, so this should be pretty close to what you can expect. Yeah, 10 thousandths behind the edge. 11 thousandths I'm going to call that. That's actually quite thin for having a blade stock thickness of that is that thick. That surprises me. At no point would I have ever said that this knife is that thick on the blade stock. It is hollow ground. Not the ridiculous deepest hollow grind ever, like something you might see on Jack Wolf. But it is hollow grind. I don't know what's going on with me today. Hollow grind blade. There we go. And you've got this really sort of aggressive clip point sheep's foot looking thing going on. Super utilitarian. I mean, you even got a tip that you can puncture with. It's honestly, it's almost a better version of a sheep's foot. It really is. It's a wonderful blade shape. Titanium frame lock. I guess this is a bolster lock. In M390. Where does it say that on the blade? I don't think it does. Oh, wait. Nope. I'm wrong. It does say it right there. It just hides in the closed position, in the open position. You've got fuller for reverse reverse flick only, really, fuller. I mean, you could, I suppose... you can thumb flick off the fuller, but you also have these triangle thumb studs that work so well for both deployment methods. I mean, this whole area is just a big success. This is extremely well done. It doesn't take up too much of the cutting path because it's partially in the fuller area. Yeah, it's beautiful. You've got this textured pivot, which actually continues its texture down to the lock bar, which you have not only great access, but that texturing feels really nice to engage with. Wonderful lock bar access. Mine is perfectly centered, and I believe you've seen the action. Absolutely wonderful. The whole thing feels wonderful. It came feeling wonderful. It stayed feeling wonderful. The clip has good tension on it, but not too much. Like, it's actually got some spring there. It stands up. It's easy in and out of the pocket. It's not sharp in the hand. I don't love the backspacer. This morphing heart thing that it's got going on there, that just feels out of place. I will admit, I don't love that. You got the Null Knives logo, which I kind of personally wish it was right up in here. I don't like it when it's on the bevel of the blade. That is one critique that I will give this thing. Everything else I absolutely love. And the ergos on this thing, they almost look like they would be bad, right? I mean, you got scoops here, you got this bump with kind of a hard angle there, round at butt end, and yet they are wonderful. You just sort of palm this rounded butt end and grip into it, and it's it's just they're fantastic. They're fantastic ergos. They are really really wonderful. It is super super comfortable. You've got this choke up position. Yeah, you don't have a lot of safety in front of the blade edge, but if you're doing close up stuff, I don't feel like I'm going anywhere on this. I feel safe. I feel comfortable for those sort of tight, worky, functional, slicey stuff. Tight, worky, functional, slicey stuff. Wow. When I am talking, it might be worse than when I'm blathering and losing track and all kinds of things. I'm not sure which is worse. Woof. And now there's a dog. Okay. I'll be with you in just a moment, dog. Let me finish this. He takes no for an answer pretty poorly, actually. Wonderful design. Striking design. Surprisingly amazing ergos. These things, I love them. This was definitely... I mean, I wasn't doing YouTube, but this would have definitely been a contender, if not the winner for Knife of the Year when it came out a couple years ago. These are wonderful. They start, I believe, at the base model, which is just the plain one with micarta, around $350. These carbon fiber, I think they come in around at $375-ish. I'll link the Null Knives site down below. You can check it out. I could even stick his Instagram down there too. Can't give a guarantee, but I'll just link the site. The site has a link to the Instagram. That's fine. There's no play. The grind is thin, slicey. Everything is functional, but also dramatic and appealing. Honestly, yeah. I love this knife. I love this knife too much because I haven't used it as much as it maybe deserves to be used. The only complaints I have are, again, the logo there and, I guess, the plunge grind, because it's very hard to tell where the plunge grind ends. It looks like the major part of the plunge grind ends here, which is fine. But it does have a little bit of taper still going down all the way to the edge. But I think that might just be a little bit of taper in the hollow grind itself. So, no, I guess the plunge grind's fine. It's pretty much stopping up there. Would I have loved to see it stop, just plunge immediately, because you get this whole thing as just sharpenable life on this hollow grind? Sure. But it's pretty darn good. You have some life to sharpen off there. The only thing I do hope is that it's not too steep on either side. Again, there are a number of things that will continuously say. T8s, complaints, different things, and one of them is I would really like companies to start telling us what they're sharpening their knives to on either side. Degrees per side. It seems like a lot of them companies go to that 20 degree per side kind of standard. But I want to know. Because this thing does not have huge edge bevels. It's thin. It's slicey. But if this is like 25 degrees per side and I go to I could put a 15 degree per side, all of a sudden it's going to be a huge edge bevel, and I would like to know what I'm working with and where I should be starting and what might work best for the knife. That would just be a very nice little quality of life improvement. But other than that, yeah, Still don't quite get the backspacer. Maybe that was supposed to be something. Yeah, who knows? The Null Knives Voodoo is a wonderful design, wonderfully executed, and honestly, if you're gonna get it one premium knife that you're gonna also use and feels useful and functional, and I'm talking and the knife is not on camera. This is definitely an option, a contender for like that first premium knife kind of thing. At first, I want to take it to the next level, and I want something that still feels like it's giving me both next level, but also all of the things I want out of a good knife, function-wise. Yeah, this is a contender. The inlays are done fantastically, and these are the aftermarket inlays, and they are, like, they mold up perfectly. I barely feel any sort of transition. It's fantastic. It's been done so well. That is the Null Knives Voodoo. Wonderful, recommendable, not cheap, but great. I would love to see Null Knives do a more budgety version of this with maybe just like solid micarta scales or something like that. Make it a frame, liner lock, just to get this design in multiple tiers of like price range, because it's just so good. It really is. So if they ever see this at Null Knives or ever hear this, I think that'd be really cool. That's all from me. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the wonderful Voodoo. Did it put a spell on you? Because it did for me. See ya. Oh god, I can't believe I said that.